Now on the CTV News at 5, the search continues for a 5-year-old boy in the Crow's Nest Pass backcountry. Plus, police are investigating the suspicious death of an 87-year-old man at a Lethbridge care facility. And the big change is announced for the CFL.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. The search for a missing 5-year-old boy continues in the Crow's Nest Pass more than 29 hours since he was last seen. On Sunday, 5-year-old Darius McDougall was hiking with his siblings near Island Lake Campground when he disappeared. Dozens of crews have been searching since yesterday for the boy who has autism, which may prevent him from responding to others. Our Carson Marsouk has been at the scene all day today and has more.
From the air and on the ground, dozens of search and rescue members, RCMP and conservation officers are searching for 5-year-old Darius McDougall.
Family went out for a walk. Darius was not among the ones that returned. They went back to the site, searched for a good time before calling 911, and search and rescue was deployed immediately.
Searchers responded around 11:30 Sunday morning. RCMP say Darius was walking with family on a road that connects to Tent Mountain and allows camping on Crown land when he got separated. McDougall has autism, and police say that may prevent him from responding to others.
How a 5-year-old boy will react in a specific situation is difficult at the best of times. So we need to keep that in mind. Fortunately for us, we are able to draw upon the provincial resources in Alberta.
The area off of Highway 3 near the Alberta-BC boundary includes steep terrain, with search and rescue focusing on an area about 2 kilometers in.
We are in a valley, a river valley itself. There are 2 small rivers that are also in play. There's a large bog that we continue to search, and some fairly steep, rugged, forested terrain.
Members from search groups in southwest Alberta, Lethbridge, Foothills, and Cochrane have been canvassing the area since Sunday. Police are also using helicopters, drones, and dogs to find the missing boy, also searching the water Monday afternoon.
We have not narrowed the scope. We are expanding it as appropriate for our search avenues right now.
Officers and search members will continue their efforts throughout the night.
We are very confident about a positive outcome. The weather is in our favor.
Well, RCMP and Search and Rescue are thanking the public for wanting to help find the young boy. At this time, they are asking people to avoid the area to allow their trained teams to continue their searches. Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Crow's Nest Pass.
Now, at this point, RCMP is requesting assistance from search and rescue organizations. Anyone with information, of course, is urged to contact RCMP. Lethbridge police are investigating a suspicious death at a city care facility. On August 28th, LPS was contacted by the medical examiner's office in connection with the death of an 87-year-old resident of St. Michael's Health Centre on 9th Avenue South. Police say their investigation determined the victim was involved in a physical altercation with another elderly man at the facility on August 27th. The victim was taken to hospital where he later died. The 2 men knew each other and lived on the same unit. There is no video surveillance in the rooms or common hallways of the facility. Police say while the subject continues to live at St. Michael's, based on their investigation, there is no evidence to suggest an ongoing risk to the public or other residents. A 32-year-old Lethbridge man is facing charges in connection to a Northside house fire over the weekend. Saturday morning, officers responded to a report of a man with a knife entering a home on the 800 block of 20th Street North and was pouring gasoline throughout the home. Neighboring row homes were evacuated as a precaution. Kenneth Townsend is charged with 4 counts of arson to property, disregard for human life, resisting an officer, as well as other charges such as failing to comply with release conditions. Townsend is scheduled to be in court tomorrow. Lethbridge police are warning about a new scam being used by criminals. Fake job posts are being published to lure unsuspecting job seekers into criminal activity. Fraudsters have either been posting or reaching out to people directly about courier jobs. Instead of regular goods, criminals are having these drivers deliver drugs, stolen goods, or even launder money. The deception helps criminals to stay further away from the crime. Anyone who knowingly or unknowingly accepts this work can be charged. Police say be aware of unsolicited job offers, vague descriptions, an informal job application process, and a lack of job experience requirement. Firefighters, ranchers, farmers, and Hutterite colonies helped put out a massive blaze east of Dunmore Sunday afternoon. These images are from MLA Justin Wright. The wildfire threatened homes and the Cavan campground. Although a dozen homes were evacuated, none were actually damaged. Some outbuildings like Quonson's were lost. The situation could have been much worse had the wind direction changed or response not been as quick. The fire is considered under control, but the area is continuing to be monitored. Danielle Savoni joins us to talk about the official start of fall, Danielle.
And it sure doesn't feel like fall. We're a few degrees above normal. We have lots of sunshine. We're under a ridge of high pressure right now. So that's redirecting all this cloud cover and moisture up and around us. And this will be in place, this ridge of high pressure, for much of this work week, and temperatures will be climbing. So if you think today is toasty, well, wait till you see the coming days. At this point, we're 20 degrees in Lethbridge. Again, a whole lot of sunshine. 21 in Brooks, 20 in Medicine Hat and Milk River and Pincher Creek as well. And temperatures will get into those higher 20s in some communities in the far south as early as tomorrow. So I'll show you that in the longer range forecast coming up, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Well, the ballot for the upcoming municipal election is one step closer to being finalized. Nominations for the election closed today at noon. Now, anyone already nominated will have until noon tomorrow to drop out of the race. After that point, anyone still on the ballot will be officially running for public office. Currently, there are 4 people, including incumbent Blaine Hagan, running for mayor. 18 people have thrown their hats in the ring for a spot on Lethbridge City Council. As it works towards reaching a deal with Alberta teachers, the province is releasing an ad on X over the weekend.
Smaller class sizes, more pay, and even better student outcomes. This is what we all want for our students, our teachers, and parents.
The two sides were back at the bargaining table Friday. The province's ad makes reference to the pay raise being offered and the plan to hire more teachers to help make class sizes smaller. On her radio call-in show Saturday, Premier Danielle Smith said she believes there is a fair deal on the table. The 3 outstanding issues are the timing of the implementation of the pay grid, an annual allowance for the longest-serving teachers, and COVID-19 vaccination coverage.
We've got those issues on the table. When they're back to bargaining, I'm glad to hear it, but at least we now have clarity, and the teachers have clarity about the 3 issues that are really the ones that are the sticking point. We've agreed on everything else. 12% over 4 years, a grid adjustment, which means many of the teachers will get up to 17% over 4 years, and 3,000 new teachers hired over the next 3 years. We've agreed to all of that.
The union, which represents 51,000 teachers, has said it will hit picket lines October the 6th if a deal is not reached by then. Now, also on her radio show, the Premier said despite a leaked internal memo, the province has not made a decision about the invoking of the Notwithstanding clause on 3 controversial laws impacting transgender people. The Alberta Justice Department memo shows the UCP government is exploring ways to protect legislation, which includes restricting youth access to puberty blockers, requiring parental consent for name and pronoun changes at school, and barring transgender girls from playing in female sports. Smith is prepared to let the courts resolve these issues, but can't rule out invoking the Notwithstanding clause. Today marks the beginning of Truth and Reconciliation Week in Lethbridge. It's a week to honor Indigenous culture and reconcile about the injustice of the past. Quinn Keenan has more.
The city of Lethbridge kicked off Truth and Reconciliation Week with the ceremony outside City Hall. Both Indigenous and non-Indigenous speakers spoke about the importance of the week.
We want to share the fact that, we were impacted, right? And part of that impact in that is adaptation. We allow ourselves to tell our story.
This year we'll see expanded programming all over the city. New this year is a Give It a Try sport event on the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. The city's first Indigenous music festival will be in Festival Square on Saturday.
I think when we started Reconciliation Week and our calls to action, there was a lot of unsure of what to do and how to do it, where now I think that a lot of community agencies and partners and the city as well have really taken initiative to take those steps forward.
The U of L was also sure to mark the week with their own event. Students and staff were able to learn more about Indigenous culture and hear firsthand accounts from residential school survivors.
Institutions like the University of Lethbridge saying, hey, it's our responsibility to educate people about social issues and so on. So therefore, we're going to take up the challenge.
Events like these will become more important as the next generation will be further removed from residential schools. Organizers believe they will help people to remember and spark meaningful conversations.
They hear the stories. They hear it on the news and so on. And so they come back and they start asking the older generation, like residential school survivors, what's this all about?
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
8 Indigenous artists have graduated a mentorship program at the National Music Center in Calgary.
There's nothing to be found.
Tomasi Ellis is an emerging Indigenous artist who was accepted into this year's program. She started playing an instrument when she was 12 and wrote her very first song soon after. But while the program offers a vocal coach, it's the business side of the industry that many artists need help with. Here they learn about finances, marketing, social media, and hear from mentors who've learned the business the hard way, but are now making a living performing. Well, Danielle has the forecast on the other side of this break. Also, when we return with World Alzheimer's Day on the weekend, we look at ways to cut through the fog of memory loss.
Oh my, look at this. What a beautiful day. Welcome to the beginning of fall. It's not going to feel at all like fall this week. It's going to be bright and it's going to get quite toasty. Now today we're fairly close to normal. We're about 2 to 3 degrees on average above normal, so not a lot higher, but we are getting daytime highs in those upper 20s, and that's going to really change the game for us over these next couple of days with regards to some heat. Some fall heat. There we go. 20 degrees, the high today in Calgary so far, 21 in Edmonton. So for Calgary specifically, 17 is a normal daytime high for this time of year, so about 3 degrees above normal. Okay, Lethbridge, 21 right now, Medicine Hat as well, and Milk River. We're in those lower 20s for the most part, except for Pincher Creek area sitting at 19, Banff at 18. When we look at the wind, it was a little bit of a gusty day. 43 kilometers per hour is the peak gusts in Pincher Creek so far today. Lethbridge as well, and Medicine Hat. A little tamer as you head further north to Calgary and Brooks. While it's not excessive speeds, it should actually be a lot quieter tomorrow, except for Pincher Creek, Crowsnest Pass, you'll have those similar winds around 40 kilometers per hour tonight and tomorrow as well. Not a whole lot going on the radar. I want to zoom out to show you what is going on around us. This is the edge of that ridge of high pressure. So that's really tracking all along it. You have the clouds, you have the moisture, that's redirecting things up and around us. And this will continue for the rest of this week. So even though, as you see this ridge of high pressure build in, even though it's going to slump to the south, it should remain over the far south for the rest of this week, which is why temperatures, while we won't be in those high 20s all week, we're still going to maintain the 20s. Even if we're in the lower 20s later this week, and we'll maintain a lot of sunshine as well. So just to give you an idea of this, Futurecast showing you as the system starts to move towards us, as the jet stream moves towards us, we're going to have this somewhat get close, but it should remain mainly in central Alberta and stay north of Calgary. So for far south, we're dealing with a whole lot of sunshine for this week. And that's why temperatures will be able to climb. 6 degrees overnight in the East Kootenay area. Fog patches developing tonight and through tomorrow morning. 23 degrees is the high for tomorrow with nothing but sun. Crowsnest Pass, 50 kilometer per hour gusts for tonight, especially in the evening hours, and then up to 40 for tomorrow. 25 degrees is the high for tomorrow with mainly sunny skies. Looking at Medicine Hat, 7 tonight. Look at tomorrow's daytime highs. So the second official day of fall, you're looking at those high 20s, gusts around 30 kilometers per hour, 20 to 30. So calmer today or tomorrow, and a lot of sunshine out there as well. Longer range forecast for Lethbridge, not a whole lot to discuss, as you can see. A lot of sunshine, gusts around 30 kilometers per hour tomorrow afternoon. Highs in those high 20s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
People across Canada marked World Alzheimer's Day over the weekend. Many drew attention to the concerns about the ability of the healthcare system to deal with rising cases of dementia. Here's CTV's Kamil Karamali with a hopeful look at ways to cut through the fog of memory loss.
How much is that dog? It may not look like it, but what you see here is David Estrin and his daughter Simone fighting back against dementia. How much is that doggy in the window? Arf, arf. With what they enjoy most, music. That looks like something I made. And art.
Looks like someone I know.
I grew up singing in different places.
We've been able to take art classes together. You've been going to choir.
Becoming a more common way to help people living with Alzheimer's, sparking memories and feelings.
It provides stimulation. It's really been shown to improve people's moods, help relieve stress.
During the last couple of shots.
Here at the Health Sciences Centre in Toronto, they're learning new ways to detect and prevent Alzheimer's earlier.
The next decade is going to, I believe, see the breakthroughs in delivering treatment.
And that's good news because in the next decade, they're expecting thousands of more patients across the country.
So we're talking about staggering numbers in Canada.
Right now, there's roughly 750,000 people in Canada with dementia. That's according to the Alzheimer's Society of Canada. By 2030, that's set to increase to nearly 1 million people. And by 2050, more than 1.7 million Canadians will have dementia.
But whether Canada's healthcare sector is ready is another question.
The main way to avoid this tsunami of dementia is to spend the dollars now to develop research on prevention and treatment so we don't have to treat those patients in 5, 10, 15 years.
For this father-daughter duo, they're working with what they have to keep David's mind as sharp for as long as possible.
My dad gives me hope. I mean, seeing how you're handling everything.
And hopes treatment options can catch up.
That was beautiful, Dad.
To save him.
Yeah.
Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, the CFL announcing some major changes to the game. We've got those details next. The long wait is over. Lethbridge Hurricanes kicked off their season with a home-and-home series with the Calgary Hitmen. Friday, after going down 2-0 early, Hudson Nibblewhite scored a pair of goals for Lethbridge to tie things up. After Calgary scored twice more, Carson Olsen potted his first WHL goal to give the Canes life, and that's as close as Lethbridge would get. Calgary added an empty netter for a 5-3 win. Saturday in Calgary, things went much better for the Canes. New alternate captains Shane Smith and Luke Cousins each scored a pair of goals. Cohen Cleaver, meanwhile, was perfect in the crease as the Canes came away with a 4-0 win. The defending WHL champion Medicine Hat Tigers also kicked off their season over the weekend, hosting the Regina Pats. The Tigers scored 4 unanswered goals in the first 2 periods and never looked back. They would cruise to a 5-2 win. Brooks Bandits started their title defense of the BCHL this weekend. Here's a look at how they made out. Friday, the Bandits were in Spruce Grove as the Saints played their first game in their new arena. Brooks spoiled that celebration, however, grabbing a 4-3 win. The Bandits were back at it at home Saturday, hosting the Okotoks Oilers. After a tight first 2 periods, the Bandits took control in the third en route to a 4-2 win. The Cranbrook Bucks, meanwhile, got off to a rough start, losing 5-4 in overtime in their season opener against Salmon Arm, but they would get into the win column the next night with a 6-1 victory over the Vernon Vipers. Pronghorns and Kodiaks had all of their teams in action this weekend. Turned out to be a tough weekend for the Kodiaks. On Friday, the men's soccer team lost 4-1 to the St. Trojans. The women's team would fare better, but still fall in a 1-0 loss. Pronghorns, meanwhile, hosted their annual triple header Saturday. Women's soccer fell 2-0 to the Regina Cougars. Men's soccer lost 3-1 to the Victoria Bikes. Now, women's rugby was able to round out the day with a win. They came out with a 22-19 upset over the U of C Dinos. Sunday saw another tough day for the soccer teams. The women again lost to the Regina Cougars 4-1. The men came up short in a 4-2 loss to UBC. The Canadian Football League is making some big changes, including moving the goalposts literally.
Our game must continue to evolve and modernize for our players, our fans, and our partners.
The league is moving the goalposts from the front of the end zone to the back. Now, this will allow more touchdowns in the middle, removing an obstruction for players and create better sight lines for fans. The field is also shrinking from 110 yards to 100. The single point, known as the Rouge, is staying, but only for tackles in the end zone, and team benches will be on the opposite sides in every stadium. The league says the changes will create more consistency and lead to more touchdowns. We'll have more on the changes coming up at 6. Toronto Blue Jays are headed back to the Major League Baseball postseason.
Ground ball to second. And the Blue Jays are going to the postseason.
The Jays beat the Kansas City Royals 8-5 Sunday, becoming the first team in the American League to secure a spot in the postseason. This will be Toronto's first playoff appearance since 2023. With a week left in the regular season, the Jays have the best record in the AL with 90 wins, 66 losses, clinching the AL East title with will secure them a bye in the first round. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. How would you celebrate your 100th birthday? Well, one woman did it with a golf club in hand. Her story next. How's this for a birthday celebration? A Pennsylvania woman spent her 100th birthday on the golf course. Here's Lindsay Davis.
Always take a practice shot. At 100 years old, Pearl Atwood is still swinging strong. She's been golfing now for half a century, so it only made sense that the Centenarian would celebrate her 100th birthday on the golf course.
My husband, he was a wonderful golfer, and he said, we have to go out when I retire. And I said, okay, I'll be brave and I'll learn it. I'm getting there slowly.
She ultimately learned to love it.
We went out 4 times a week. I used to play 18 holes, but I cut down to 9 now.
Every Wednesday morning, Pearl's out here on the Twin Woods Golf Course in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. On this day, along with her clubs and cleats, she sported a sash reading Birthday Queen. Pearl's just hit a milestone that's nothing short of a hole-in-one.
Woohoo! Yay!
She credits her longevity in life and on the golf course to her faith.
As long as God would let me live, I'll play as long as I can.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.